Undocumented migrant apprehensions along the southern U.S. border have now hit 2 million within the past year. So is there any end in sight? And is busing them to large sanctuary cities like Washington and New York the answer? First, here's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Every community in America should be sharing in the burdens.
Residents of Martha's Vineyard were enraged when DeSantis sent a plane load of 50 migrants to the elite island. President Biden also expressed outrage.
Republicans are playing politics with human beings, using them as props. What they're doing is simply wrong. It's un-American. It's reckless.
Folks, all of this is political theater from people on both sides of this issue. You have Governors Abbott and DeSantis wisely exposing the hypocrisy of liberals who pass sanctuary laws and then insist that the southern governors are cold and inhumane. You see, these leftist politicians don't really want the migrants in their cities and states. They want to appear concerned and caring, yet their attitude is, just keep them down by the border so we don't have to deal with them. Where's their compassion? Abbott and DeSantis rightfully point out that U.S. border communities are overwhelmed because of this administration's open border policy. Texas is now spending more than $3 billion annually responding to the border crisis. That's money that could otherwise go for things like repairing roads and bridges, better education, maybe even raises for teachers and police officers. But you see, if the taxpayers of Texas fail to help fund the Biden administration's misguided migration policy, then they're labeled as racists or people who lack compassion. So tell me, just how much compassion was shown in Martha's Vineyard when the 50 migrants sent there were loaded onto government vehicles and transported to military bases against their will? Or when 53 migrants were found dead last June in that tractor trailer in Texas. Remember that? What's really going on here, folks, is threefold. The United States has a shortage of workers. About 11 million jobs are unfilled right now. Undocumented migrants could fill them and provide cheap labor. NBC News recently exposed how this works. They discovered undocumented migrants working at an illegal marijuana farm in California, and they hadn't been paid. Many were consigned to living in squalid conditions in an on-site makeshift trailer park. Another reason is political. How many of those 2 million migrants might end up voting for the political party that let them in? But before they could do that, they'd have to be citizens, right? Just ask border czar Kamala Harris. She's proposed that idea. And then, of course, the third reason for the open border, lots of money made by the bad guys, the cartels, and the dirty politicians who look the other way as billions of dollars are made on trafficking people across the border. Not to mention fentanyl, which is now killing more than 50,000 Americans each year. Those opioid deaths are up at least 59% over 2019. Folks, the actions of Governors Abbott and DeSantis are pushing this immigration issue front and center for the upcoming midterm election. And that is rightfully where it belongs. The nation can no longer ignore it. Let's show compassion for the migrants, yes, but let's also support office seekers who advocate a common sense approach, like expanding the guest worker program so the country's labor needs may be met. Also, let's vote for candidates who believe in securing the border to prevent humans from being trafficked and keeping fentanyl opioids far away from our kids. Well, that's it today from the Global Lane. Be sure to follow us on the CBN News and NRB channels, social media, and our broadcast affiliates. And until next time, be blessed.